you ever noticed when something is off? You can't quite pinpoint it, but something just doesn't feel right. I was walking in Red Rocks National Park, contrasting orange rock with the bright blue skies. The wind was whispering sweet melodies, and the sun was tickling my skin. I was in awestruck beauty of where I was. Fast forward 5 hours later. Ew, get out of my way, huh? Hey, here's the hood. Guess what? I was on the Vegas Strip. It was like I just got hit by lightning, except for there was no thunderstorm around. This is what I call sheer sensory paradox. When our senses spark alive to full attention, but one is harmonic and poetic, the other is discordant, startled, and stressful. Several years ago, I was never able to distinguish between the two. I lived a frantic life, always looking for that cue of safety. But the problem is, the world is noisy, and society is numb. We live in this world where when we add a little trickle and flavor of trauma in adverse childhood experiences, it's a recipe for being on guard and hyper-vigilant. This hyper-awareness can become a detriment instead of an ally. Hyper-awareness is also sometimes called sensitivity. Has anybody ever said, "You're too sensitive"? Or maybe you said that to somebody else? My family said that to me last Thanksgiving. But what if nature has the perfect antidote for hyper-awareness? When we bring together and fine-tune that inner sensory signal, this is what I'll be speaking about today, nature's hidden medicine. I was walking in Chile's Torres del Paine National Park. I was hiking up over this ridge, and I came to this vast horizon, and I saw these jagged mountain peaks and this beautiful turquoise lake. It was so deep and rich and full of color. I had never seen color this beautiful and vibrant before. My awareness exploded, and I just could think that the world was filled with such endless possibilities. Keltner's research on the state of awe lets us know that when we're in this state, it's all about less focus on self and being part of a grander vision, grander universe, because we're just such a small speck. So the first hidden medicine that nature gives us is perception, because perception builds curiosity power. Perception expands our awareness to what's possible right here, right now. But as some of you know, perception can get a little funny. It can put us in a sea of abyss when it's left unchecked. I find myself on Mount Lemmon on the side of a giant rock face. I was reaching, looking for the next rock climbing hold, where I'm putting my foot, where I'm putting my hand. I'm looking and seeing what's happening. But the only thing I found was this little knob on the edge of the rock. And I put my foot down, and I reached the edge, and I reached over. Ah! It's a 9,000-foot drop to Tucson. In that moment, I had to blur my periphery. I was perfectly safe. I was still connected to the rope, and the rock climbing guide was above me. But I recognized I had to purify where I could reach. I only focused from my hands to my feet. I didn't need to look down to a 9,000-foot drop to a city. This is where it's about purifying our reception. Polyvagal theory states that when you activate the dorsal vagus nerve, that's when we're not safe. But when we bring ourselves back into safety, we can purify our experience. This is nature's hidden medicine number 2, purity. The same way a fresh rainstorm clears and cleanses the air. Afterwards, the air smells and tastes clean, fresh, and crisp. We have to purify our perception. We need to remove the cognitive clutter. And most of all, remove that extra stimulation. So it's important, purify our perception. Now let's move on to the next one. You'll figure it out. I love rock climbing. So I was out with friends again, but this time I was on a lead. What that means is I was the one placing the gear in the rock as you go up and clip. It's a little more dangerous. So here I am on another rock face about 75 feet up. I'm at the crux move, the most dangerous part. And I reach out, place my gear, do the move, go up. Hey, Laura, you got this! I instantly fall 15 feet, swinging in the air. Hey, Andy, thanks for the encouragement, but don't yell at me when I'm rock climbing. Thank you. I get back up and I finish the climb. But what I realized in that stance was that I was super sensitive. I couldn't even take encouragement. So when you think of that, psychologist William Ites states that empathic accuracy, it's about when we understand our own internal cues with the external cues of the environment or other people's emotions. Here, do you know anybody that is an empath and absorbs energy from other people? Yeah. So here's the thing. Whether you're sensitive and you notice everything, empathic accuracy is about understanding where you are in relation to something else and understanding where to be porous and where to filter, what's yours versus somebody else. When we bring forward the reticular activating system that we have within our nervous system, this also, when we distinguish between fear and coherence, this allows us to be more precise in what we're doing. We become a fine-tuned instrument. And imagine this. Has anybody ever had a pain in their body? Yeah. But what if you could distinguish between that pain and a heart attack or a stroke? That precision can be key. So it's about bringing in the third concept, precision. So let's bring this all together. We have purity, we have perception, we have precision. We bring this together in convergence. Because the fourth medicine is presence. Did you know that nature is always in a state of perfect harmony? Because nature always understands the cycles, the rhythms, and the seasons that it's in. An animal can sense an earthquake and move to higher ground before it hits. But imagine If birds that felt the signal to fly south for winter said, Mother Goose got mad and angry today, so no, we're not going to go. That's not being in perfect harmony. But who knows, some humans that are kind of in that manner, right? So nature always tells us the cycles and the seasons. And what we have within our bodies is what's called mirror neurons. So when we're out in nature, we have harmony being reflected back to us. Presence is just that. Presence is when we can know and understand and have the cycles to guide us. It stabilizes our systems and it restores our rhythm. Presence is what brings us home within. Because presence is more than stillness. It's a state of finer attunement for where we are. When we go deeper in presence, it opens up higher awareness. This depth allows us to sense more accurately, feel more cleanly, and know more directly. Presence is where we come home. Because we have this depth, it brings discernment forward. And it allows this discernment to come with ease and arise naturally. It's not forced. It's not a forced decision. You just happen to know. Presence is not a technique. Presence is a lifestyle. Presence is our own medicine. Discernment yields our optimal well-being. When life gets too loud, step outside. Thank you.